Hey, it's Kevin. Welcome back to the Road Warrior video blog. Thanks for stopping by this week. I know you can take one look at me and see that, well, I like to eat. You don't get this big, you don't keep this body if you don't feed it. And one of my favorite things, I know this will shock you, is ice cream. I'm not as big an ice cream fan as my wife, but I do enjoy ice cream. I know you're saying, yeah, who doesn't like ice cream? But there are some people who aren't big ice cream fans. But one thing we've noticed about living in Nashville, and my wife thinks it's living in the South, is that there aren't as many ice cream stands as there were in the Midwest or even in the Northeast. And the reason she says this is because all there ever is around is Dairy Queen or Sonic. There's no, I don't know if you remember Tasty Freeze. Tasty Freeze, we both grew up on Tasty Freeze and had them all over the country. I went to Tasty Freeze and had them in Virginia, near where I went to school, had them in Illinois, she had them in Indiana. And Tasty Freeze was more kind of a walk-up ice cream stand. In fact, her hometown, what used to be a Tasty Freeze, is still there. It's called the Busy Bee. And it's basically just a little shack where you walk up and you make your order, and if you're going to eat it, you're either going back to your car or you're going to sit out in the little picnic tables they've got in the area. But it's no sit-inside seating kind of thing. Remember when Dairy Queens used to be like that, and that's changed a whole lot over the years, hasn't it? But we don't have a lot of those walk-up ice cream stands here in Nashville, or really even in Middle Tennessee. We look for them all the time. There is one on the west side of town that's been around forever called Bobby's Dairy Dip. But again, because it's the only one around, lines are long, and neither of us like to wait in lines, and heaven forbid it's in the sunshine. But I've noticed that, and I don't know if it was a health thing where people just stopped eating ice cream as much. I noticed that with donuts years ago, where there just weren't as many donut shops anymore. I remember when Krispy Kreme donuts shops started going out of business. It always shocked me that a big chain like that could go out of business. But I know tastes change and times change, or maybe it's that it's just so convenient and easy for people to go to the store anymore and buy whatever ice cream they want and throw it in a dish or throw it in a cup or whatever. But to me, there's something special about a trip to the ice cream shop. And I'm not just talking, I like Baskin Robbins and I like Dairy Queen and I like your chain type ice cream shops. I don't mind those. Gosh, I've been going to Baskin Robbins since I was probably 5-6 years old, or at least that's how far back I remember. But there's, to me, something about those little walk-up ice cream stands that I just adore. And I don't, in Ohio, they were custard shops. They were more of a custard ice cream, or custard, than they were an ice cream, and that was okay. But just that walk-up little stand where you can get a banana split if you want, you can get a little brownie boat, brownie delight, whatever you want. You just get a chocolate sundae, which my wife prefers. You can get some kind of sundae or shake or malt. We had one cool little ice cream stand near where I lived in Ohio for 10 years in Wadsworth called Biddinger's. Actually, we had a couple in our town. We had one that was nearby us that was actually probably half a mile from the house that we never went to. The service wasn't as good, the ice cream wasn't as good, but it was right across the street from our drive-in movie. And so it was open pretty decent, but Biddinger's was great. Biddinger's was down the street, and it was always crowded, always busy, but they always had good shake flavors, good malt flavors, good ice cream. It was just, there's just something about that old-fashioned walk-up ice cream stand that I guess I loved, that I still love, that, well, they're still around, just not quite as much anymore. And even a bad one is better than no one at all, I guess. And when you don't have one nearby, I think that's what when you really realize it. You know what I mean? Back next week, another Road Warrior. I know the lazy, hazy days of summer, and I got you thinking ice cream. No, yeah, that's what I can do. If I can think about it, so can you. Next week, Road Warrior, kevinmason.us, all the Road Warriors right there. If you found us on Facebook, if you found us on YouTube, come on back. We got them up on Facebook and YouTube every week too. Again, as I always say, I don't care where you're watching. Just ask you to come back and do it again next week. Thanks so much. Here's another Road Warrior next week. Thanks.